You're watching another edition of Money on Main Street. We're up to our CEO sit-down segment, where we invite a prominent Long Island business leader to share their expertise with us. Today we've invited Bill Corbett Jr. He's the president of Corbett Public Relations, a Long Island-based firm which specializes in branding and social media marketing. Welcome to our program, Bill.
It's great to be here, Giovanna.
So many small businesses on Long Island, and a lot of their customers are coming from the area. What do you say is the number one thing they can do to market locally?
Well, the owner of the business is a super important part of the marketing effort. A lot of small business owners don't get out. They don't go out to the chambers of commerce. They don't get out and meet people. So they need to get out and they need to meet people, press the flesh, and get out there, whether it's speaking at an event or it's at a trade show or at a local community market or something. Get out there and say hello to people and get to know them.
How much of an importance do you think should be placed on social media versus pressing the flesh, if you will?
Well, social media is important, but remember, social media marketing is only part of the overall marketing plan that a business needs to have. So you have to look at it and see how effective it is for you. Like social media sites like Facebook and Foursquare, which is a locally based type of social media outlet, are really good for local marketing. But Twitter may not be as good because it's on a larger scale, a larger audience. So you have to find the social media sites that work the best for you and use them effectively to draw people in.
How do you know?
How do you know? Well, you have to look at them. You have to look at what the audiences are and who is using them. For example, Foursquare is location-based, so people will come into a place and check in. Twitter, for example, it's international. There's 600 million or a billion people almost on Twitter now. And you post in New York, you get someone in Bangladesh or in China can see it, so it's not localized. You have to use those sites, though, locally. What I mean by that is, if you're using Twitter, you want to include local tags. So we're on Long Island, you want to put a hashtag Long Island. You want to put a hashtag Huntington. If that's where your business is, you want to attract people who are interested in that local community area.
Now, I've read that you can recycle content. Talk to us about that.
Well, I call it repurposing
Okay.
content. So if it's a blog that you wrote a year ago, well, you can look at that blog and you can repurpose it. You can use it again on your social media feeds, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. And that's really the name of the game of social media, is you want to repurpose stuff to get it out there to attract people either back to your blog or back to your website, because that's where they're going to buy from you. That's where people get to know you the best and where they get to really know your brand. Your brand lives on your website, but your brand comes to life on your blog, and that's where we want to bring people so they get to know who you are and what you're about.
Now, a lot of articles point to loyalty rewards programs that work very well. Talk to us about that in terms of the Long Island community and getting those customers locally.
Well, you want to do whatever you can to reward the people you have as your regular customers, but you want to make them brand ambassadors. You want them not only to go out and frequent your establishment, whether it's a restaurant, a bank, a deli, whatever it is, give them good deals when they come in, give them coupons, but you want them to be talking about you when they're out and about, both in the real world and in the social world. So if you give them coupons or rewards, for example, if you come back 5 times to the hair cutter, they will give you the sixth one for free. Things like that build loyalty, build good rapport with people, and then they'll talk about it. They're going to say, hey, I got that free ice cream cone because I bought 10 other ones at the ice cream shop down the block. So they'll appreciate that and they'll talk about it.
Now, how do you know how many times to offer that, and if that's really going to cut into your bottom line? Do you make it a once-in-a-year thing to where it's very special, or is that not enough? You have to do it consistently?
Well, Dunkin' Donuts has Dunkin' the Donut Day, and they give away a donut that one day a year, and there's other businesses that'll do it once a year. I think it works. You have to look at what your product is. A car wash, maybe it's 10 times. An ice cream cone, maybe it's 6 times. You have to really figure it out and look at how it's working for you, too. You want to keep track of how often people come back and how many of those rewards you're giving. If you're not giving enough, then maybe you make it 6 ice cream cones instead of 8, and then that way it'll encourage people to come back and frequent your establishment more, and they're going to get free ice cream. They're going to talk about you.
Last question. You're talking about analytics. What's the best way to actually measure?
Well, every single social media site has a different type of analytic. Facebook, for example, on a Facebook business page, you can look at the analytics. On LinkedIn, you can look at your page, at your profile views, so you can determine what's working and what's not, and who's coming to your sites. LinkedIn and Facebook both tell you where the people are coming from, what community they're coming from, and even what country they're coming from. And we used it for a restaurant that we were working with at one time, and we knew that they were in Carl Place, but they were getting a lot of traffic from Hicksville. And so we played up however we could to play up more to the people in Hicksville, because we knew we were attracting a lot of people from that area.
So very important to take a look at the metrics.
You need to know where your data is coming from.
All right. Thank you so much.